That's who killed my son.
The 17?
Yeah. The 17-year-old basketball player that just got shot 17 times?
Yes.
That's who killed my son.
Really?
Yes.
What was that about?
Well, it wasn't for my son.
Your son happened to be there.
Yes.
Oh.
What if the murder of a young basketball star was somehow connected to the death of a rapper's son? Could it really be possible that the murder of one teen led to the murder of another? In this video, we're going to explore a shocking claim made by rapper Gilly Da Kid, where he reveals a tragic and controversial link between his son's death and the death of 17-year-old basketball player Noah Scurry. We'll take you through a heart-wrenching story involving street violence, gang tensions, and two young lives lost far too soon. Stick with us to uncover the connections and the devastating truth behind these events. On Thursday, February 15th, 2025, Gilly Da Kid, the well-known rapper and host of the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, made a shocking statement that left many people in disbelief. In an emotional interview with sports analyst Shannon Sharp, Gilly Da Kid revealed that Noah Scurry, the 17-year-old basketball player who was tragically murdered earlier this year in Philadelphia, was actually responsible for the death of his own son, YNG Cheese, whose real name was Devin Spady. According to Gilly, the reason his son was shot and killed had to do with a conflict between rival blocks in Philadelphia, and his son just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The tragic story of YNG Cheese, who was killed in a triple shooting in July 2023, is a heart-wrenching one. The shooting happened on the night of July 20th when 3 men, including Gilly's son, were shot. YNG Cheese was just 25 years old, and police later confirmed that he had tragically lost his life in the attack. 2 other men, ages 28 and 31, were also injured in the shooting but survived. The attack took place near Masher Street and Nedrow Avenue in Philadelphia, an area known for being home to different rival gangs and blocks. Gilly Da Kid described how his son was simply at the wrong place at the wrong time. He wasn't involved in the conflict, but because of the escalating violence between different groups in the city, he became an innocent victim. As a result of the shooting, Gilly's son died from gunshot wounds to his back, leaving his family and the community in shock. Now, the situation takes an even more tragic turn when we look at the events surrounding Noah Scurry's murder. On January 16, 2025, just a few months after YNG Cheese's death, Noah Scurry, a talented high school basketball player from Philadelphia, was gunned down in front of his mother as she was getting ready to take him to school.
The student, according to police, was getting in the car on his way to school behind his house with his mom.
Scurry was just 17 years old and had a bright future ahead of him. He was not only a star athlete, but also an exceptional student. In fact, he had scored the highest among his peers on the SAT college placement tests, which showed he was truly an outstanding individual. However, despite his talent and promising future, Noah Scurry's life was tragically cut short in what appeared to be a targeted attack. Police said that around 7 a.m. on the morning of his death, Noah was shot multiple times in an alleyway behind his home, with as many as 20 shots fired in the attack. His mother, who was there with him, witnessed the whole horrific event. This was not a random act of violence. Officials later revealed that Scurry had been involved in a previous shooting in May 2023, and the shooting that killed him could have been connected to this earlier violence. The police investigation into Noah's murder revealed something even more shocking. Gilly Da Kid claims that after Noah's death, the police informed him that Scurry had been one of the suspects in the shooting that killed his son. Gilly explained that Scurry was part of a group of individuals who were allegedly involved in the murder of his son, YNG Cheese. According to Gilly, the police had even been preparing to arrest Noah Scurry for his role in the shooting, but tragically, he was killed before they could take action. The claim that Noah Scurry was involved in the murder of YNG Cheese adds another layer of pain to an already heartbreaking situation.
The worst time had to be when I had to wash his body. You know what I mean? That was the worst.
Gilly Da Kid described the violence between rival blocks in Philadelphia as something that affected the lives of young people like his son and Noah Scurry. These young men were caught in a world where violence and street conflicts seemed to dictate their lives. Despite having bright futures, many of them were influenced by the wrong things, such as gang culture, social media, and the pressure to gain respect by engaging in violence. This story is not just about two young men who tragically lost their lives, it's about the dangers of the environment they were living in. Philadelphia, like many other cities, has been struggling with increasing violence, especially among young people. Gilly Da Kid pointed out how kids today are often drawn into street culture, influenced by the wrong role models, and pushed into violent situations. He mentioned how Noah Scurry had been seen in a rap video wearing a Joker mask and holding guns, something that only adds to the narrative of kids glorifying violence and street life. Gilly himself, having grown up in a similar environment, understands this all too well. But he also expressed that, unlike some of these kids, he was able to find a way out of that life and make something of himself. The most tragic part of this situation is that these two young men, YNG Cheese and Noah Scurry, were caught in a deadly cycle that many others in their community face. They were both talented, with bright futures ahead of them, but the pressures of street life and violence took everything from them. It's a vicious cycle that claims too many young lives, and the consequences are felt not just by the victims, but by their families, friends, and the entire community. The murder of YNG Cheese and Noah Scurry is a devastating reminder of the dangers that young people face in a world where violence and street culture seem to take priority. It's a reminder that even the most talented and promising individuals can fall victim to circumstances beyond their control. While the police continue to investigate both murders, it's clear that these two deaths are linked in a tragic and complex way. The connections between street gangs, violence, and the pressure to be involved in dangerous activities have claimed the lives of many young people. Gilly Da Kid's revelation about Noah Scurry's involvement in his son's death adds another layer of heartbreak to an already painful story. Gilly's pain is clear, but so is his message.
I'm gonna hold my youngin' down, you see that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold him down. Long live cheese, man.
Long live cheese, baby.
He wants people to understand how deep the problem goes and how it affects everyone, especially the youth. He hopes that by sharing his story, others might avoid falling into the same traps that his son and Noah Scurry fell into. The world needs to do more to address the issues that lead to young people turning to violence and to offer them alternatives and support so they don't have to become another statistic. As we close, it's important to remember the lives lost. YNG Cheese, Noah Scurry, and so many others who have been caught in the cycle of violence. Their stories are tragic, but they serve as a reminder of the need for change in communities affected by gang violence, poverty, and a lack of opportunity. Whether we see these events as isolated or connected, one thing is certain: they highlight the need for real solutions to address the root causes of violence and to offer hope to the young people who are too often led astray by the pressures of their environment. Thank you for watching. Please share this video to raise awareness about the violence affecting young people in communities around the country, and let's continue the conversation about how we can make a difference.